Hi everyone, and happy Wine Wednesday. If you are new, I'm Allie from A Glass After Work. Thanks for joining. Today I'm going to share with you one of my favorite rosés, and I discovered it several years ago when my husband and I were out in Washington State for a friend's wedding. They were getting married in Woodinville, Washington, and so we went out to the wedding a few hours early so that we could have a chance to taste some of the wines out there. So, for example, we went to Chateau Ste. Michelle. We also went to the Mark Ryan Winery, which another friend of mine had recommended. And when we were there, that's when we had a chance to taste this rosé. This is the 2017 vintage, but this is the Vincent, and it's a blend of 60% Merlot, 18% Syrah, 13% Cabernet Franc, 7% Cabernet Sauvignon, and 3% Grenache. So there's a lot going on in this rosé. And so as I was saying, so when we went out to the tasting room, we tasted this wine and I fell in love with it. So we grabbed a few bottles at the time, and I always figured, look, it's the internet age. I can always order more when we ran out. Little did I know that it is a super small production. And so by the time I went through my few bottles, went to go order some more online, and they were sold out. So I mentioned to my friend who lived out there that I couldn't get it online anymore and asked if she could go and see if she could find some in the tasting room. She was able to taste it, grab a few bottles, but they were pretty much sold out in the tasting rooms too. She also fell in love with the wine, and so we kind of joke around now about how we literally are waiting for the release of the new vintage, and we will go and we will buy it up. We'll buy like a case. She'll buy actually several cases, and we just basically stockpile the wine. This year, when I bought the 2017 vintage, the weather got really warm in May, and so by the time I had ordered it, they'd actually had to hold on to my case of wine until the weather cooled off. And so it's fall now, and so I actually only just now got my shipment, which is fine because it means that I'm going to get to enjoy it through the fall. I actually like rosé with Thanksgiving dinner and all of that, so it actually works out really well. I just expected to have my wine a little bit sooner than that. This year's vintage, the 2017, they only made 666 cases, so again, super small production for a fairly small family-owned winery anyway. And so yeah, well, why don't we give it a go? So as you can see, the wine has got a pretty nice kind of peachish, salmonish color. It's nice and clear, and it's pretty light colored. And it's got a nice nose. So often rosés are a lot lighter, and while this isn't a heavy rosé, it's just so fragrant. I would say there's lots of like red fruits. I'm getting some cranberries and some strawberries, but it's also mixed in with some citrus. So I'm getting some like red grapefruit on here, and also a lot of like white flowers and honeysuckle. So there's a nice floral note happening too. All right, why don't we give it a taste? Cheers. Oh, it's beautiful. So this is the first of the 2017 vintage I'm having a chance to taste. Tasting it with you guys, and I love it. It's just as good as I remember the 2016 and 2015 vintages being. So definitely lots of that citrus. So getting some really good pink grapefruit happening. Mixed in with some like tart cranberries. There's a nice tartness to this rosé, which I really like. And then there's the kind of on the back end, I'm getting some good floral notes, definitely some honeysuckle. It's part of why I think this would be a great Thanksgiving wine as you start to think about the holidays. If you're, or I guess even if you do, I don't know if you do turkey for, you know, for the Christmas, Hanukkah, those holidays, but Thanksgiving, obviously, this would be a great wine for that. It'll go well with the sauces, the cranberry sauce. It'll go well with the turkey because it is a lighter wine, but it'll help bring out some of the spice, and plus having the acidity, that'll help cut through some of the like fattier parts of the mashed potatoes or your sweet potato casseroles, that sort of thing. Had to take another sip. So yeah, this is a delicious wine. I think this is a perfect example of why you can drink rosé year round. It is just absolutely beautiful, even as the weather starts to get a little cooler. And so I would love to know, do you drink rosé year round, and have you started thinking about your Thanksgiving wines? Or is it kind of one of those things, do you just wait and see what's grabbing you when you go to the store to get the rest of your Thanksgiving meal? Just leave it in the comments below. And if you aren't already a subscriber, you can do that by hitting the little caricature right here or the button below. But don't forget to also click on the bell so that you get notified when I upload a new video, which is going to be every Wine Wednesday. And if you're looking for a recommendation, you can find one right here. Thanks for joining me. Cheers.